me today is John Moore, and John does and tea leaves, and interest to me because I've always been interested. How did people figure out the hieroglyphics? How did people figure out the Stele of Hammurabi, first written code of the law in the world? How do they understand what people meant? And John's given me some fascinating information right before we went on camera. So welcome,
Yes.
John.
Thank you for
Welcome,
having
John.
me.
This is going to be interesting. So you've been involved with doing rune readings and this for about 20 years. What kicked your interest in? It's a very specialized area.
What started in the first place was my grandmothers were into reading both tarot and tea leaves. So it kind of runs in the family. It skipped a generation and then went to my grandmother, to me. And I picked up this as something different to do. So we're kind of a little quick aside here. My grandmother used to watch the baseball game and throw down the cards in. That's how she read the tarot, and she'd look at it during the commercial.
Oh, okay.
And as far as the tea leaves go, I got into that part of it by actually having another client that said, "You're not on your grandmother." I says, "What do you mean? I'm doing tarot." She says, she also did the runes and the tea leaves. So that's how I got started into that part.
It seems like a lot of time when you talk to people that are sensitives, it does run in the family. So you have to believe it's like art. I mean, you know, I'm an artist. My husband can paint, and his father painted, and his daughter painted, and his grandson sculpts. So it's really, I think, some kind of genetic component that gets passed down. I see it over and over again, especially with sensitives.
And it can skip a generation like
Yeah, or people understand, but they get afraid of it.
That's my mom.
Okay. My mother, she's Irish. None of that stuff.
I have those roots myself.
Yeah, okay, so don't want to. So you and I had talked, and you had said that there's two kinds of runes, the Viking,
Yep.
and then the Celtic, and you said the Celtic came after the Viking?
Yes, like maybe 100 or 2 years later.
100 or 2 years. And one of the things we talked about was, you know, the Viking ruins you had mentioned, the Vikings and the Greeks traveled. This is how they may have gotten in touch with you, because some of the ruins look like Greek alphabet or symbolism.
You had like the Greeks and the Phoenicians, they sailed all the way up to the British Isles and all that. So that's how that got up there. And then you had the Norsemen invading down from Finland and all that, and that's how they came to be in the British Isles.
Now you said that the Celtic preceded Stonehenge by several hundred years?
Maybe a couple hundred.
Couple hundred, and they got that from carbon dating.
Yes.
They're called two different things, though. What is the Vikings are called ruins, and the Celtics are called?
The Norse is the Norse ruins, and the one that's the Celtic is called the Ogham. That's just a Celtic word for ruins.
Ogham. Are they divinate the same way?
No, actually the Norse, which was predated the Celts, that is based on events, where the ones that are Celtic do it with trees and the messages from the trees. So it's more plant-based with the Celts, where it's more event-based in the Norse.
Oh, okay. So the Norse, you said, were almost directional. Like there's a village 2 miles up the road. You said where they carved things in rocks. It was almost informational.
Yes.
But the Celts were more divination? Is that how it worked?
Divination, and it also was an alphabet of sort. I think it's the best neon Ruis one. That's the official name of it. But it was based on the plants and the whether it be trees or bushes, and they all had a message to share.
It makes sense, because the Celts, if you really, you know, they believe in fairies and little people, the Irish, and, you know, they nature, you know, don't do this. So they're very nature-based, where I'd have to say, I guess the Norse were more warrior-like. I guess I would say that would be it. So
that would be accurate, yes.
You made your own now. These are runes, people. I asked if I could touch them because I have a different energy.
Yes.
So these are runes, and John handmade them, and he can also teach you how to do that. If I don't know if you're going to run a class at Mondazzi's at point making these.
Yes.
But he does read at Mondazzi's too.
Yes. That or the Red Barn in.
Okay. So we'll talk about that later. Yes. But if you'd like, you can start with a reading. John. And they're
Okay.
beautiful colors, beautiful colors, different than what I've seen.
What I need to do with these here is I need you to pick them up. If it's too much for one hand, you can do it with two hands, and I need you to throw them down. Before we read, I'm going to explain. If it winds up upside down, that means it's not needed in the reading. If the lines are facing up, that's what we're going to read.
Okay, so if the lines are facing up, that means you're going to read it. If the lines are facing down, they get pushed aside.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
A lot of runes here.
There's actually 29. It's almost like a prime number.
Yeah, like an alphabet. It's funny because the ones I've always seen have never been this beautiful. They've usually been brown stone, like a gray stone or a brown stone.
Well, you can.
These are pretty.
These are actually made out of Sculpey clay.
Okay.
You can put them in the oven at the lowest setting for 20 minutes in a dish that you're not going to use again.
Okay.
And what happens as a result of that is you'll get these things that last for years.
Okay, so if I throw them down, you're not going to break. I'm not going to
No.
break them, right?
Nope. See how durable they are? You can continue
Yeah.
throwing.
Continue.
Yep. Okay, now for sorting them out. Now, we pull these out. Now, first of all, there's significant ones. Now, this one here is a blackthorn tree, which is like related to the prune tree, but it's like a briar type thing. And what happens with this, when it shows upside down like this, if something's been stuck here for a while, what happens as a result is it gets moving again in 30 to 60 days.
Okay.
So that's, if you've been having things that have been stuck, expect them to get moving in the next 30
I
to
haven't.
60
I'll tell you, and I'll tell you that you're dead on because I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right, let's get the other ones out of here. If it lands on its side, I'm going to keep it in, but these are all lettering, so I'm moving
These are readable. These will
these-
not be right now,
These
right?
are going to be the readable. These are going to be the
Oh,
discard.
okay.
So we'll
Okay.
put that off to the side. We got too many still, so I'm going to have you throw
So
these
how many
again.
is an ideal reading when you go?
Anywhere between 3 and 6.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I keep having people throw them down.
I was going to say, holy crow, John.
The reason why we go for 3 to 6 is it narrows it down. Otherwise, you'd be scattered all over the place.
I see. Plus, it'd take you forever to read everybody.
Oops.
I skip. I drop them. Don't get mad at me.
Nope, no harm. Okay, this comes out because these are still have the discards.
Okay.
All right, that's a discard.
You're so pretty. It's like a rainbow here.
That's a discard. That's a discard. And that's a discard. Now, I'm going to have you at least throw these. Wait a minute. Here we go. Here's what's left over here. These are the seasonal ones, these big chunky runes.
Big
here.
chunky ones are what?
Those are the seasons.
Oh, I see. You said this was, coin was winter?
Yes.
Coin was
this,
winter?
This one here is the coin or winter.
Okay.
What happens with that is it's telling you that you got a powerful season coming up between November 1st of this year to February 1st of next year. Big changes, success, career, all this is related during this time that you can make these changes and have them work out well for you. The other one is the club. That is the season that runs from May 1st to the end of August there, and that's for manifesting what you want in your life. So it's a good summer of 2023 for manifesting.
Okay. So, and by manifesting, is say, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I've been hesitating, and I have the ability to do X, Y, Z.
It's telling you you're in the right place at the right time
to make that decision.
to make that decision and have it work out for you. So you got a good winter of this year going into February. Then you have a little breather for the spring, and then you hit the ground running during the summer.
Okay.
Okay, well, we got that. That can go in the discard pile. I'll have you throw this at least one more time. Okay, Quaking Aspen. We're going to stop on this one here. This one is like the Tower card reversed in the tarot deck. What that means is the worst is over and life is on the mend. You got a big change coming up, but it's going to be fine. You're going to weather through it. You're going to make it through okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's get the other discards out of here. And here's the only one that's left, and that sometimes happens. This is the willow tree, this pink one.
A lot of tree
Yep,
readings.
yep. This is, they're all based on trees in the planets. Now this one here is the willow tree. It represents the moon. It represents divine feminine and feminine empowerment. So in this case, if I'm reading for a woman, such as yourself, it means things are working out. You're coming into your own power. And that's how the end of the reading comes up, that you're coming into your own power during the winter months from November 1st to February 1st of next year, and from May 1st into almost August 31st.
Okay, that's good news. And I'm going to tell you why the reading is significant for me.
Okay.
I'm 72 today, and I've been struggling for the last, COVID has killed a lot of businesses.
Yes.
Certainly my business went downhill. I had two major customers, Starcrest of California and the Grommet, close their doors and throw, well, Starcrest, hundreds of people out of work. I've had more people struggling and going direct overseas for product. So the business has seen a downturn. It's still there, but it's like, is it worth me continuing to do this? At some point I have to retire, I'm afraid, because it's been, like a guy in most cases, my identity for 25 years. This has been my identity, my business, my customers, my vendors. They're great people, and I'm terrified if I step back that I have plenty to do because I take care of a mother with dementia. She's 92. But if I step back, I'm going to rue the day. And the other part of me goes, but to put this much time to something that's flat right now, it's just probably not worth my while. So I struggled.
So if you're wondering, is it okay to start a new chapter of your life? It's indicated yes.
Because it's December is when I want to close. The end of December, I want to be able to tell my customers, it's been lovely, I'll miss you all. And I know I'm going to be emotional.
And that's perfect, because again, it comes back to the success or career involved between November 1st and February 1st.
Okay, so that's why that was significant to me. So you're saying between 3 and 6 readings. Have you ever had, I'll ask you this, because we were joking, let's clear the energy in the station afterwards if I got a bad reading. Have you ever had somebody come in and you say, oh, geez, this is bad? How do you break it?
Not so much there, but if there is a problem, I would say maybe you should be re-looking things over.
Okay.
Maybe you should check with your professional healthcare provider if I feel that there's some concerns.
I got you.
That's what I would do.
All right, that's good.
You don't want to panic people. You want to empower people.
Right, to take their own steps
and
to know
that
what
way
they
they can, get things straightened out on their own.
Okay. Now you also do tea leaf readings.
Yes.
So
would you like to see one?
I would love to see it, because the only person I ever saw do this was an old Italian woman, and I was young and didn't understand.
Okay.
Do you need this over here?
Yep. We're going to put that underneath.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you put a pinch of tea leaves into here, and then I'll...
Smells good.
Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. First thing that we have here is the number 3 inside a square. That means the 3 inside a square means it's going to be a very stable March for you. But from the 17th through 25th, you're going to get a lot done during that March, because we got like the uprights in the football thing, which means goal-oriented there. Now this one here is May, because of the 5s and the 8s and the 9s here. This is telling me that we're going to have a good May to get things started to manifest, and you start to see the fruition of it by the August-September period. This one here is telling you to finish something up here. Finish is spelled out here, finishing up during the summer by August at the latest, and it works out because there's a V for victory here. So that's what's coming up here.
Because there's been a lot of upsetment, and between mom and the career thing, it's just been a ton of upsetment.
So between March and August, there's a 3 up here and an 8 down here. It's a C-shaped crescent moon. C-shaped crescent moons mean to use those months for making long-range plans.
Okay.
Now this one here has a 12 at the top and a 7 at the bottom with a D-shaped crescent moon. That's telling us between December of this year and July of next year, you have a period of growth and expansion coming up for you here. Very strong for you the first of the year, very strong for you July, because a 1 and a 7 are near a nest with a bird, and that means that you're nesting or setting into a new state here. Okay. Now the other thing here above that 1 and the 7 is literally ducks lined up in a row. So it's saying the key is to be organized.
Is this here, you're talking about right here?
Yep.
Ah,
Those
yeah.
are little ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So the bees next to them means it works out, and it's based on decisions that you make in December, because there's the 12 again. It keeps coming up.
Well, there you go.
And then you have the 12 and the 1 here inside a star, which means it's a successful change that you're doing here. Okay, I'll take the tea kettle here and I'll add the water and go to part 2.
So the first part is the dry reading.
Yes.
And then you must add water to it. Does it matter if it's boiled or no? Okay.
No, actually it doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold. Okay. Now this is how I do it different than the traditional tea leaf readers. They'll put the tea in there, have you drink the tea and all that, but in light of the COVID and stuff, this is a, right. This is a more sensible way of approaching it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 12 and 23 are inside a diamond shape. A diamond shape means a successful outcome to the month. The 23 inside a diamond shape means a successful outcome to the year of 2023 here for you. So the key to getting the best out of it here is, again, the ducks lined up in a row where it's a successful period there. Okay. Little numbers will mean like days of the week that are really good for you. Like the 1st and the 7th of the month are days when you're in the zone. Big numbers, 1 through 12, 1 being January, 12 being December. So that's how we determine some of those there. Now here's the interesting thing here. Here's the doorway here. And the doorway has the 12 on one side and the 3 on the other side. You're transitioning between December and March into a new opportunity here. So that's what's coming up for you there.
I'm going to stop you right there. Okay, so December, I'm thinking of closing my business down. And I kept saying I'll do a soft close in December, take baby steps, and then do a final close in March. That's exactly what I said.
That's what's
the
coming
final
up
close,
here.
I've already told my employee, like, you know, she's retired anyway.
Can I have you reach
Sure.
that cup that's down by your feet there?
This one here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to dump that in there and go to part 3 here for you.
That's the last, so it's 3 parts?
Actually 4.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. Now here's an arrow pointing up here. That's the 12 again. So things are looking up in December through January, and then you're readjusting in March again. So that's where that comes in. You're picking up some information that you need to move things through the summer in May. And it's based on some decisions that you made in December of 2022, because here's the 12 and here's the 22 here. It looks like the strongest months for you during the summer are going to be the July-August period, because you got a 7 and an 8 in there.
Okay. And what does this mean? Or does this mean nothing? That looks like an L?
Yep. Well, this thing here is a option of it looks almost like a smiling face here. 2 eyes and a smiley face.
It's like a frog to me.
Well, what that means is you're going to be satisfied with your outcome. And the other face over here that looks surprised, wow, I'm surprised it came out this way.
That's the one I was looking at, yeah.
And it's inside a circle, which means it's in protected space. Anytime you got something in a circle, it's in protected space. So the thing above it here is the eagle with a V. The eagle, yep. And the eagle means that you're going to soar. You're going to spread your wings and fly. And it's based on decisions, again, with the 12 here that you made in December.
So 12 looks like it then for me, John.
Yes, I'm going to flip this over. We'll get part 4, and that'll take us to the end of that reading here. Okay. All right, we got the 7, which is good here. We got a 12 and a 7 are inside the circle, so it means trust the decisions you make during the month of December 2022 and the July-August period of 2023 as well.
Okay.
And that's how we read the things there.
So when you do these readings, and thank you, by the way, I'm impressed simply because you did not know about my decision to retire. I mean, I've been struggling with that for the last 6 months. You know, hang in, and hope business comes back. But it's never going to be the same after COVID. It's never going to be the same. I mean, too many of the small businesses, even in town, have gone. Look at how many. So that makes me feel better that I am making the right decision. And my buyers are friends, so I'll still stay in touch with them. But it's a struggle because it's like, oh, you know, it's what I've been doing forever.
Everything is new. It's just like
Yeah.
with me. I was in IT before I had the side gig here. I've been doing it on and off along with the IT, but after 36 years in IT, I retired, and this is what I do to keep myself busy.
And busy, and you're communicating with people
Yes.
in a positive way, and also
So
you don't
instead
just sit home on the couch and watch TV. I mean, I
So
think
instead of being on the help desk
You're
in
doing
IT,
the- yeah,
I'm
you're
doing
being
one-on-one.
you're
I'm helping personally
yeah,
versus
right.
the
You're
help
helping,
desk.
you're connecting with a higher authority than your IT guys.
Yeah.
So this was fascinating. Would you like to, and talking to that camera, would you like to tell people how to get a hold of you, where you do your readings, if you have a website, email, and when they can contact you?
Sure. I have a Facebook page. It's John Moore, Psychic Intuitive. My email is oaknholly16@gmail.com. Oakenholly at 16@gmail.com. My phone number is 860-638-8911. Just leave a message on the answering machine, and I will get back to you in a short period. Now, where I read at the following places. I read at Mondasi here in Windsor, the bookstore, and I'm usually booked at least solid once a month doing the tea leaf readings along with rune and oracle readings. And the other place I would be in the Red Barn in Durham. It's a collective of healers and readers, so that's where I would be other weekends when I'm not reading at Mondasi. And then once every 3 months, I read at the Astrological Society in
Which town?
yes.
Well, you could look that. Can they look it up? I mean,
yes,
is that listed, the Astrological Society?
Keeney Hall, Astrological Society in Wethersfield. Sorry,
Oh, Wethersfield? I thought it was been Manchester or Bloomfield. Okay, so
Nope.
Wethersfield, Astrological.
and that's basically places there. Oh, I meant to tell, I'm also working on a book right now that is for the tea leaves, and I'm doing like an American version book that I'm in the process of working on for the OM.
Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting.
The other thing that's going to be also coming up maybe in 2023, I have a friend that's doing a documentary on divination and sacred sites, and I might be in a clip of that,
Right.
of the Witch's Journey, which might be released by late
Yeah.
2023.
Okay. Well, you'll have that on your website if it is.
Yes.
You'll put a little thing where what the name of the documentary is and where to go to get it. And this has been fascinating. Again, first of all, they're beautiful. Second of all, I know you made them by hand and did all the etching. That's a piece of art right there. And I appreciate the good news. It looks like you gave me good news from December till August, so you can't beat 8 months of good news. I
Yes,
mean, right?
but it's especially strong for you from the December through November, December, January, and
Okay.
February,
Okay.
and then getting readjusted to your new life between May and
Okay.
August.
All right. Be in touch with you.
Okay,
I may come back to see you for another reading and
I'm
say,
looking
hey,
forward
John,
to
it
that.
worked out.
I'm looking forward to that.
So, yeah, and I thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming.
No
So this is
problem.
John Moore, and you can get him in all the places he said. Mondasi is where I found him. And Mondazzi's also has fantastic books and crystals. And do they have
Oh.
runes? Do they have, if somebody doesn't want to make their own, do they
They,
have them?
they have the Norse ones. They
Oh,
don't
they
have the
Norse ones.
Celtic
Okay,
ones.
they're the Celtics.
You may
okay.
be able to find these books here at Mondazzi. If not, you can definitely find them on
Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Okay, so it's Omens Ogums, which is the Celt name.
By
and
Webster.
Organs.
And Bob Oswald is the one that does the Norse ruins.
Okay.
If you ever need an expert on it, the one that's the expert in New England is Jane Sibley. She does it to the advanced level for the
Okay.
Norse ruins.
Okay. Okay, that's all good information. So please make your appointment with John. He is booked up quickly, so
And I
maybe.
will be here on Sunday in town.
So you're Sunday at Mondazzi's, right?
Yes.
But you said that, is that fully booked?
It's getting close.
Okay, well, this will run in November, so they're going to have to look on your website. They'll have to
Yes.
look on your website to look
In
at
that
November.
case, I'll be there on November 19th.
19th. Okay, this will run before then, so November 19th, people. I would like, before you leave, John, for Howard to get a shot of the beautiful, beautiful ruins.
Sure.
And I thank you again for coming. It's interesting, it answered questions I had, like, you know, I told you I was always interested in archaeology. How did they figure out what it meant? You know what I mean?
They just, with all those travelers, the Phoenicians and the Greeks, they came up there and they learned to make their own alphabet out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And it does, you know, specifically, I think the Norse ones look more alphabetical than these. These are very symbolic. The
Yes.
Norse ones look more alphabetical. So thank you for coming again. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in December with an angel card reader for our Jenny here at the station. So you want to know all about Jenny's personal life. Look at it then.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks.